I want to talk to you about the single most important thing that you need to do in order to grow your business. And interestingly, it's not Google Ads. And think about this for just a second, y'all. I own a Google Ads agent. I own the Google Ads agency. And I don't think Google Ads is the most important thing for you to do when it comes to growing your business, adding new customers, scaling. I don't think it's in the top 3. I think it's important. I want to help you with it if you need it. But the most important thing for you, and let me back all the way up. We just saw a massive shakeup. It's a bloodbath with Facebook. And you've seen that. If you're a Facebook ad agency or you relied really heavily on Facebook ads, you're in trouble. And it's sad to see. And so part of what I'm seeing, and you're probably seeing a trend in my content, I want to help people hedge against that in the future. So if you're running nothing but Google ads, by the way, you're in the same spot. Incidentally, Google makes one shift to their algorithm. A competitor comes in and starts charging less than you. There's a modification of the cyclical market, whatever. You're going to see the impacts in the proportion to however big that change is. And it's critical that you diversify. So if you're 100% dedicated to Google ads right now, you need to begin diversification. And if you're not, even if that's not where you are, I still think that what I'm about to say is the most important thing that you can do for your business, period, for any business. And it's to begin building a community. Begin building, investing in, growing a community. You want to, now, in order to do that, and this is really key, this is critical, you have to niche down. I use niche, I'll be interchangeable. You need to choose a niche, and you need to serve that niche with content. And in so doing, you're going to build a community. And by the way, y'all, this is old school marketing 101. This predates the internet, right? This is, how big is your list? And you know what your list really is? It's your community. It's the group of people that are willing to listen to something that you have to say. And to build a community, it can be as simple as a mailing list or an email list. Hopefully it's a little bit more robust. But you want to choose a niche, and you want to choose a niche because without choosing a niche, it's impossible to serve them with real value. And by the way, y'all, a niche, like I can't, God bless some of the folks that I work with. I'm the traffic coach over at Digital Marketer, some of you know, and some of the newbies especially, they like to choose niches that are, like, oh, I help female entrepreneurs. That's not a niche. That's half the world, right? Like, you need to niche all the way down. I have a Google Ads agency. Think about that. That's not a digital marketing agency. That's not a traffic agency. That's not a paid traffic agency. I chose one traffic channel out of all of them. And it's not because I'm smart, incidentally. It's because I'm an idiot. Solutions 8 is called Solutions 8 because we used to have 8 core service offerings. I did web and software and SEO and content and video and apps. Like, we were doing all the things, and we sucked. We sucked. And it took me so long to admit that to myself. I wanted to be good so bad. And I could have been good at any one thing. I think most people can. I probably could have been pretty good at any 2. But especially when you're small, anything more than that, and it's hard. Now, can you grow into multiple proficiencies? Absolutely. But when you're getting started, choose a niche. And incidentally, let's take the services off the table. I have another agency that's something more of a philanthropic endeavor, to be honest with you, but we help Montessori schools grow. And we help Montessori schools grow because I'm obsessed with Montessori education, and I think every child deserves to go to a Montessori school. But what's interesting about that is, think about that as a niche. I didn't say schools. Right? I didn't say private schools. I didn't say private preschools. It's private Montessori preschools. There's only 4,500 accredited Montessori schools in the United States. And incidentally, I own all of them. My agency, Nido Marketing, and then the Thrive community that we built around it, we are a household name in the world of Montessori because we've niched down enough to be able to speak to them on their terms. So for you to build a community, you need to choose your niche first. And incidentally, this is true for everybody. If you sell hammocks, we have a client that I love dearly, and they sell hammocks. That's a great niche. It's people who sit in hammocks, right? Like, that's a very specific niche, and that's a very specific product. And you get to, the minute you distill yourself to a point to where you're now talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So to build a community, choose your niche. And then once you've chosen your niche or your niche, I still haven't decided which one of those I like better. Give value. Look, I'm doing it right now. This YouTube channel is a community. We have 5,170 some odd subscribers at the time of this recording. And that's a community. And by the way, it really is. Like, look at the comments. And not all of them are kind. Not everybody in the community is kind. but we're building, and you don't have to, you'd be like, dude, I don't like YouTube. Fine. Pick your poison. Like maybe you want to build up an email list, which I still think is one of the most important things you can do. But you could be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, do a Facebook group. Or if do you use Circle or Simplero or Mighty Networks. But if you want to never be at the mercy of another traffic conduit, build a community. And the community doesn't have to be big. Y'all, our YouTube channel has 5,000 subscribers. In the world of YouTube, adjusted for margin of error, that is 0 subscribers. It's nothing. It's a nit. It's a blip. It doesn't even show up on the graph. And yet I could eat off of it for the rest of my life. The leads we get from YouTube, I could turn off my Google ads tomorrow. If we didn't have the growth goals that we have, and I really mean this. I should put together a video actually that shows you this. We could satiate, sustain, and have a very healthy growth trajectory here at Solutions 8 based only on the leads we get from our organic YouTube following. And I've been doing this for a year and change. That's the power of community. And if there's a major shakeup in the space, if a huge agency muscles us out, if Google ads start, think about that. This is ironic. Google ads don't always perform for a Google ads agency. There have been epochs where I'm like, all right, this is we're priced way out of the market. And usually it's when somebody pulls off a freaking certification course and every asshole on the planet wants to be a Google ads agency. And then for 90 days, I cool my jets and I watch them all beat their head against the wall, outspend themselves, and then we can come back into the ecosystem. Industries gobble up their own tails all the time. It can happen to me. But I won't be at the mercy of one traffic conduit, one source. And again, I'm a Google ads agency telling you not to rely wholly on Google ads. So diversify, of course, but the first, it's not the easiest, but it's the most important. The most important thing that you can do for yourself, for your business, is grow a community. And then what's really cool about having the community, we saw this with our Montessori community. Now that I have the community, I can sell them anything I want to, right? It doesn't have to just be, we've got websites and a CRM solution and Google ads and Facebook ads. Now for Montessori, it's probably unfair because honestly, I give them everything that we come up with. We truly try to give them everything we can because I want to help Montessori schools grow. But another example would be before I sold it, we had a real estate investment agency, GeoFlip. We sold it in June of 2019. And we served nothing but real estate investors. These aren't, real estate professionals, realtors. These are people who buy and sell homes, distressed real estate, very specific niche. And in the beginning, we were selling them leads. But if I wanted to, and we actually kind of moved into this before we sold the agency, we could have sold them CRM, marketing automation, content, sales consulting. We could have direct mail, we had a very ravenous community that loved us and loved what we were offering. So when you have a community, it allows you to outgrow whatever, you're no longer a potted plant. You're now kind of part of the forest. That analogy is going to die on the vine. No pun intended. Anyway, invest in your community. Choose a niche. If you haven't already, you probably already have. And you don't even realize it for some of you. Choose a niche. Invest in a community, and don't worry about, you don't have to be, I'm not on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. It's so funny too, because perpetual traffic, when I'm on that podcast, the podcast show notes from the producer are like, oh, follow Kasim at KasimAslam.com or Kasim Aslam on Twitter. And I'm like, I'm never on Twitter. So, and I should be, I'm not being, it's my fault. But what I'm saying is I've been able to grow a community without all of that. Choose one. The podcast is a great example. What an amazing, I don't own perpetual traffic. It's not mine, but what a phenomenal community that is. You can start a podcast if you wanted to. Clubhouse, if that thing's still alive, whatever. Choose a niche, grow a community, and you'll never be at the mercy of a traffic conduit again. There's still work. Google ads still feeds me we spend 6 figures a month in Google ads, and not every month, obviously, but it's nice to be able to ratchet up my leads anytime I want and be able to bring them down once my sales team is like, we are overwhelmed. So I still want you to run Google ads. Obviously, don't be at the mercy of one traffic conduit. Learn the lesson that everybody just had to learn with Facebook, because y'all, so many businesses died, and they probably deserved to. God forgive me for saying that. I know that's a mean thing to say, but they weren't even businesses. They were offers. I stole that line from my buddy Ralph at Perpetual Traffic. They weren't even really businesses. They were just offers that were being propped up by the fact that Facebook allowed really granular targeting. So they shouldn't have been around otherwise. You couldn't have built a community around it, right? Go build a community, and then you'll never be at the mercy of another traffic conduit again. Which is the dream. That's the dream. Anyway, thanks for watching. Love y'all. See you later. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know we actually know what we're doing. We shoot a video every single day. So if you want to be notified, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any input, don't hesitate to hit us up in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We get very little human interaction. Thanks for supporting our channel, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.